Oops. And we have an excellent connection. We're live.
Not for Wi-Fi on your phone as well.
I did. It looks a bit dark on it. Doohickey. Nee. Cherry blossom. Do. Hello. Okay. Vanessa, do you want to say something sexy into the microphone? Naughty Bridget. Oh, just ruined the atmosphere there.
You did.
Rory, you're first up.
Story.
First up, Rory, say something sexy. Don't say something sexy.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I know you were going to say something sexy.
I've not known. I don't do.
Well, no, go on, say
very
something sexy then. Go on, say something sexy.
Something sexy.
Something sexy.
I don't do
Aaron,
that carry on very well.
how are you doing, bud? I was watching you today, Aaron. I missed how you cut your finger, and I saw you trying to melt your hands off. I if it was me with your ambulance, I would just
Leave as it is.
I just paint over it. Poor old Aaron. So for anyone who's watching in Aaron's channel, Charlie and me, or as we like to call it, Charlie and I, Aaron is currently doing his, what's it called?
Ambulance.
No, what he
version.
has the winter project or something it's called, is it?
Oh, I don't know.
You're always watching them.
You
What
know
is it
I
called?
don't. You know I don't take any.
It's quite a
heed.
rocking intro. But anyway, so I watch it, Aaron, and I would just paint over it because your man that does what's his name? I can't remember, the Amber Project. He has the same kind of van, an ambulance, former ambulance, ex-ambulance, whatever. And I think he just painted it over, but I could be wrong. I didn't go back that far.
His ambulance.
His ambulance. He's like 50,000 subs now, and he's bought a little place in Portugal, Fairball to. But he is going to be. He was saying that he's with his girlfriend now. They're there during lockdown, so he's over there now. And he was saying it was warm the other day, and it's like late January, early February in Portugal.
They get nice weather all year round.
No, I know, but could you imagine if he thinks it's warm now? What's he going to be like in August? Right. Well, okay. Angle grinder. Okay, I missed how you did it. That's nasty. Did you have to get stitches? The van build. Very good. Yes, the van build. And I hope you guys are all well. We are. Thank you very much, Mr. Ford. Yeah. He cut his finger, but he was using these gloves. There are actually, I was thinking of it when you were doing it. There are gloves you can get that are like thin work gloves, but they're heat resistant. And there's ones you can get that are like cut proof and stuff as well. So you're probably better off going to B&Q or somewhere like that. But you'll definitely get gloves that would help you with that heat resistance. But I would definitely just paint over it. Project I took off to reflect. All right, okay. He's been a great help. Yeah, no, he is very good. Okay, I didn't realize because I didn't go back that far. I only started watching him when he was out and about. But he's a huge follower now, and he's very good. He is very good. There's just something about him that's very nice. But it's going to be interesting now to see how his channel fares. When he's not driving around, are people watching him doing up his little place? Is it going to hold their interest? Now, he's a lovely guy, and he has the dog Lance, and very enjoyable, very nice guy. He's got a lot of charisma, like, but he's not.
I have a question for Aaron.
Go on.
When you do the conversion, are you going to get rid of your old van?
Why are you thinking of buying it?
No, yeah, and just keeping the new conversion, or the conversion, or are you going to use the two of them? And also, what is your plan for using the ambulance? Are you going to wild camp in it, or are you going to?
I'd say he's just doing it for the ratings. That's how he's doing. He's gonna sell it the minute he has it done.
He's doing it to see which limb he can lose first.
Yeah.
I'd love him. Or are you going to still go to your campsites and stuff like that? Just wondering.
We're keeping both the ambulance and the B-Bar the B-ball is for me and Charlie. All right, okay, very good. And actually, it is it driving much business into your channel? Is it I don't. Well, you must be over. You must be. I don't know what your subs are now. You must be over. Well, I know you're over 2,000, so you must be. I'm going to guess maybe 2,200, 2,500. I was wondering, is it driving business into your channel?
But will you what has he answered? Will you wild camp or?
No, he's saying he's going to keep it. He's going to keep them both.
Okay.
Very flash, huh? 2 camper vans. Excuse me.
Very
Excuse
salubrious.
me. One each. One for him and one for Deirdre. Unless he teaches Charlie how to drive. So what I was going to say was, I was just going to say thank you to people, because actually when I did to get us to 2,000 appeal,
you're breaking lair.
Somebody did subscribe that night, which is very good, and then we went up to 2002, and we're at about 2,000, but I don't mind now what we're at, because once I have got up above that 2,000, that was just wrecking my head. Once we've got up to that 2009, so that'll do me. I'm very happy. As long as we stay.
That was a great year.
As long as we stay at that, yeah.
We had Christian that year.
What, 2009? Very good, yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who helped me with that, because getting those last 20 was a nightmare for me. And on some level, I think when you say, getting to 1,000 is a milestone, but when you hit 2,000, you can kind of go, it sounds like a decent enough number, you know? So I think it's kind of going grand. I can kind of relax now, because I have a couple of thousand people sub to the channel, like, you know, that kind of way.
Aren't you marvelous?
Yeah, so that's the thing. 2,393. Well done.
That's brilliant.
Well done. I wasn't far off then. I said between 2,005, so that's pretty good.
Well done, Aaron. Your all your hard work and attention to it is definitely paying off. Fair play.
Yeah, no, and it's good that you're doing the ambulance piece with because of obviously COVID. Your channel relies on you visiting all those places and stuff like that. So fair ball to you. So good evening, pharmacists. Do it over the counter. We're gonna have
That's your favourite
what
name, isn't it?
Pharmacists do it over the counter. Yeah. So I think I like that. That's a good name, isn't it? Pharmacists do it over the counter. Make a great name for a channel. We should think of something like that as well. No problem, Aaron. You're welcome. So that's that. So down to business. That's the pre. You know the ramble before the channel starts. That's called the
preamble.
Well, it is preamble, right?
Pre-ramble.
But there's a name to it. It's like the pre-show. It's called. I didn't know that.
The prelude.
No, pre-show.
Oh.
Yeah. So if we start the show at 8:00, we might have the camera running from 5 to, and then it's just kind of, and then it's like the show hasn't started. It's like the pre-show. I found that out last week. Do you want to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, you do it.
No, you do it.
No, you do it.
No, you do it. It's all about you. You do it. You're the extrovert.
We found out what we're having.
It's not a balloon.
And yeah, like same science. Yeah, we're gonna have blue for boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a boy. Oh yeah, it's a boy. I can see it there. Yeah. So we found out. So that's the thing. So yeah. So we're gonna have a boy, another boy. There's
22 weeks, hopefully.
Waves of disappointment in the family, because there is no sign of girls whatsoever in Vanessa's family. My side, there are
4 girls.
No, more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? Is it 5 girls? 5 girls on with my brothers.
And 2 boys.
2 boys.
Well, that you know about.
Jack. Who's the other
Christian.
one? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forget about him. Yeah,
dope.
I forget about him. Whereas Vanessa's family, everyone's pushing out boys.
Yeah, well, I only have 2 sisters, and all we've had is boys. No girls.
While I'm drinking, you can talk.
I was talking.
Give us down we can. I'll show everyone what we're drinking.
What you're drinking?
Tonight, our tipple is Bulmers. Not English Bulmers, Irish Bulmers. So we call it Bulmers. You would know this in the UK as Magners, which is very strange. But there you go. You know why it's called Magners in the UK?
There's another drink called Bulmers already, isn't there?
They had Bulmers there originally, and I think these guys tried to buy the name, but they were having none of it, so they had to go Magners, which is I don't get it.
It says Magner on that up the top.
WM Magner. All right,
yeah,
all right.
Clonmel.
So Clonmel. All right, so that's obviously what they named.
Obviously the name of the brewer or something.
Yeah, the Irish version was
So now do you get it?
I get it now. It's a fantastic name. Obviously, they'll never. Just a question. Sorry now for everybody else, but just a question. I'm being very nosy here, Aaron. Your sponsors, did they come looking for you? I'm often curious. Or do you? I saw someone. You had another sponsor there in your video today. It was
Could you not just send them a text?
No. Like people might be interested in this, right?
Okay.
So Gary's Glue, and then there was some other sponsor you had as well. Did you go looking for them, or did they come looking for you, or because he worked in the radio?
Did you sniff
so he's
Gary's glue out?
He's quite. I just nosy. I'm being nosy. You don't have to answer. You can send me a private message if you want, telling me to mind my business. I'm just curious. Because I see people getting sponsored by what's the name of the website development?
We're sponsored by Durex, aren't we?
We wish we were sponsored by Durex. Sponsored by Pampers Nappies next. What's the name of the website company?
Wix.
No.
Squarespace.
Squarespace, yeah. Everyone's sponsored by them, and I often wonder, are they approached or do they go looking?
You can actually go on to be an affiliate with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't bother.
But you have to have a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of like interaction on your channel and all that. I
wouldn't. Actually, is there any kind of Gary's Glue claimed to me and Murphy's Tools? I went for very good, very good. And is there any you can? I'm assuming because it's small scale that there's no clauses and conditions and all that kind of stuff. No, there are. If you get a big brand, there can be.
Yeah, but not for the little guys. People are just happy to get their name out there. You know.
Yeah.
It's free advertising for them.
Well, it's not free because obviously they pay Aaron something.
Well, you're making that assumption.
Well, yeah, that's why you do it, to make a few bob. See, that's Aaron's very commercially minded, obviously. Huh?
Maybe they sponsor him with a bit of glue.
Wait, but how much glue do you need? I mean, anyway, so there you go. So that's
glue his finger back together.
Well, that's what super glue was originally used for. You knew that, did you?
You told me that before.
Sorry. Well, maybe I'm just telling other people.
Well, then why were you looking at me?
Well, because you do that to me. You look at me when I'm talking to
you.
Yeah. So, evening, Laura. Hey, Laura. Gary's. Yeah. So, good evening. We haven't. I don't think we spoke to you in a while, Laura.
No,
hope you're doing well.
Here last week.
You're being off air. Something Vanessa said. I don't blame you. No, I set the deals and both agrees to pay, and Murphy's gave me the tools. Ah, very good. See. Learning.
Every day's a school day.
Learning. So other than we're gonna have a boy. Now we have picked a name, but we're keeping that secret. We won't announce names. No. Although what was the name of that name I like? Martin Marmajam. I like
Francis.
That. Yeah. Now you have to be careful now because you could insult somebody by saying that's a silly name.
Could.
There's no. I probably could. Yeah. Yeah. So is it a bit bright there? It's a bit blown out.
I'm very pale today, though.
It's a bit blown out on there. Oh, there you go. You're a bit close to the light as well.
I'm sorry.
You're okay. No, you're okay. So what do you want to talk about, Vic? It's your podcast.
How's everyone's Friday night? Are they all having a wild Friday night like we
You'll have to speak into the mic there. Make it
are you all having a wild Friday night like we are? Are you?
Yes. Well, nah, just the time that's in it, I do get you on catch up. Very good. Very good. Well, we just like to have you live. So if you can
change all your plans,
if you can,
park your life.
You have to be here with us every Friday. It's it's just one of those things.
It's obligatory.
Oh,
that's a big word for small person.
Do you know? I had a kind of bit of a thing there earlier. I was thinking that this is a bit like because I could see you getting. What were you doing? You were upstairs doing something. Were you brushing your hair or something? Were you?
Possibly.
So you were brushing your hair, and I was getting beautified as well. And I was thinking, this is like it's the closest thing to going down to the pub and having a beer with people. I'm just popping down to the pub for an hour and have a couple of pints of people, and then I'm going to come home. That's probably what this has transitioned to for us because of COVID. You know what I mean?
It's a pity we can't do like a kind of an interactive one. I know people are on the chat and all that, but it's a pity we can't do a kind of like a like where we can see them as well, isn't it?
Well, you can set it up like you can do
like a Zoom kind of thing.
Yeah, but you know, if we were to do it, yeah, like Zoom, and then I think we can stream Zoom, like if you did a Zoom call through it. But I mean, well, maybe that's probably the next step. And we have to figure the technology. Who do we interview? Who do we talk to? Anyone at all. Send your name and address and something like that.
Address, telephone number.
So, yeah. Let's see. So I will, of course. Well done, Laura. Yeah, I haven't been to the pub since last Jan.
We went in December, the day Christian finished up for school. Remember, we went down and we had a bit of lunch.
Tradition.
And before that, I actually couldn't tell you when we had gone previous. Christian's birthday. And other than that, actually with me nanny.
Yeah, so every time Christian like does something, so finish the school, pub, birthday, pub.
He actually has to go after Christmas.
Well, he loves Christmas. Pub. He's been reared on.
Actually, no, that's a lie. We didn't go to the pub for his birthday. We went and got sushi. You and I had a glass of wine or two, and you had a beer or two with the sushi, and then we came home because remember there was nothing open.
Yeah.
Only restaurants, and you could only eat something, so we weren't going to go into a pub to have something to eat after having a big sushi dinner.
No. It's like, you know what it's like we were talking about earlier when we went camping during the summer. With all this hanging over you, I can't relax. Oh, we'll have to give an update in the van. Oh no, we gave an update in the van. Nothing has changed. We haven't heard from them since. And I felt a bit guilty about that video last week when we were slagging them off.
You were slagging them off. I don't slag them off.
You do? You were?
I didn't slag them off.
Watch the video back. No.
So I have to watch YouTube. I don't watch YouTube.
Mr. Ford says it's like going out. It is kind of like going out. Because when I saw you upstairs getting ready, and I was getting ready, I was like,
I even put on real clothes today.
Yeah. Do you want to show people your bump?
Oh yeah.
You see it?
No, you can't see.
That's it. You're in the way of the mic. Yeah, come there. So you can't see it with black. Oh yeah, she's starting to show now. Look, turn the other way. There you go. So.
Yeah, because I've only a small frame anyway, so any sort of a bump is going to look big.
Yeah, I remember all that.
What?
You waddling around the place with your big belly sticking out. You got huge towards the end, didn't you?
Yeah, huge.
But Christian wasn't that big. Was 7 pounds?
7.14.
Oh yeah, it's just shy of 8. That's big enough then. That's big enough, wasn't it?
Like I'm only 9 stone on a bad day.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's amazing really, doesn't it, how big the bumps get? It is amazing.
How quick they grow.
It is, yeah. You know. And this is a bit of a surprise because I honestly thought we'd never have another kid.
No.
And whenever I used to you'd see a lot of women knocking around the office and they'd come in. And, you know, in Ireland, it's still common enough for people to have 3 kids. You know, it is. It's fair, especially where I work, you see it a lot. You see women coming in and having 3 kids. 4. There's a few that do have 4 or 5 children. A few. Like more than you would think. But a few. But the bulk of people I would know tend to have, I think they see 2 as too few. Because the amount of abuse I used to get for having 1. But we were...
Just the way it panned out?
Yeah.
Just the way it happened?
Well, it's not like we weren't... I have to be careful here now. It's not like we weren't not trying.
Yeah.
But we weren't trying either. It was kind of like if it did happen. But I think at this stage, we'd sort of just assumed we'd never have another kid. Because a few people said it to you, wasn't it? IVF. So people were saying, is it an IVF and stuff like that? And we're like, no.
Because even my mum said, and did you get a little bit of help?
Yeah. But we didn't. It was just one of those things, just a huge gap in between them. But
they were telling me in the hospital, you get a hormone surge. Women get a hormone surge between 40 and 43 or 4. Because the body starts to go through the change then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I told you about the nurse in the hospital. Tasha was going through the change for 46. She was pregnant. Do you want the rest of your can?
No, it's just I can see I can see the monitor there. There's something at the bottom of my glass, but it's a
you're missing
a thing. So yeah, but I used to see the women coming in, and then
Laura has 14 years between her 2 boys.
I thought you were going to say she has 14 kids. I was going, fair ball to you, Laura. Fair ball to you. I knew you had it in you, or not. Well, careful there, right? Okay.
It was for a while anyway.
So yeah, 14 years between them. Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. Laura says that's a beautiful bump. Thanks, Laura. So 14 years. See, that's mind blowing because my eldest brother, I've said this before, he's 11 years older than me. And because of that age gap and other things, right? Other things in the background, I didn't really know him that well. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's quite an age gap.
Well, Adam was 13 when Casey was born.
Yeah. It's quite an age gap though.
Yeah.
Like Christian's going to be probably hardy and gone before. Nearly said the name there.
Or the baby.
Yeah.
Is Christian's age now.
Is gone as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's mad. But we that's the point I was saying. I used to see women going around the office and they'd come in and all of a sudden you kind of notice the bump. And then bump, they'd be full on pregnant and then gone. Then they'd be back and then they'd be gone again.
Maternity leave, gone.
Yeah.
Pregnant again.
Yeah. So some people are very fertile and they can go like clockwork. So what they do is they work at that. They maximize their leave, their pay. Especially the company I work for is very good to pregnant people, and so
they pay for maternity leave.
They do, yeah. No, they're very good, very understanding, very family orientated company. And so the women, cleverly, I'd say cleverly, not kind of cynically, they cleverly time things so that they get the maximum time off. So they might be gone for a year. Then they'll come back and they could come back pregnant and then they're gone again.
You see, but you have to be careful doing that as well because your maternity benefit in Ireland only pays if you've paid a certain amount of tax within the previous 2 years.
Oh.
So 2 years previous to you getting pregnant, your maternity benefit will only pay out that way.
Right.
So you wouldn't do that 3 times in a row.
Right.
Because you won't get your government money.
Well, there you go. I didn't know any of that, but it's not going to affect us. So what's Laura saying? Hey, Jays, will you pick up? Well, big gap. They do have good relationship. One in Florida and the other in New Zealand. Very good. Well, I'm assuming they're probably grown men at this stage then, based on that, Laura. So I think there is a point that I know for me when I got into my 20s, I could relate to my brother who was in his 30s. So on some level you can relate. But I think we were always slightly out of step with each other in relation to our interests and where we were, which was quite interesting. But they're saying that my younger brother is 3 years younger than me, and my other brother is 4 years older than me, and we would know each other better because we spent more time together. But I don't know if we'd be any closer, if you know what I mean.
Do you read that there?
What?
Paternity leave.
You have rights. In the USA, it's only 3 months leave and it's considered. Wow. Yikes.
Wow, Laura's sons are 41 and 26.
41 and 26. That was
kind of like my age.
That was kind of our age,
when we met.
That's kind of the difference between us. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. America, I was watching a thing today and they're saying, why would you live in America? Because of, no offense to the Americans, obviously. But they're saying because of those things, shortness of holidays. We were actually, I don't think Canada's much different, but my cousin came over from Canada and for our wedding, wasn't it? And I was saying to him, why don't you stay longer? And he said, no, we only get 10 holidays a year. And if he wants to take extra holidays, he has to take it at his own expense. And not only that, then he said, if they get really, really busy and he's needed and he's not around, they could hire someone and replace him while he was gone. You're like, ooh. Obviously no union, because I think with unions you can't get away with that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it?
So there you go.
Terrible living with that threat hanging over you all the time.
Laura retracted a message there. What were you saying, Laura? Who were you abusing? What were you saying? Come on, you can be honest with us. I'm an L one.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? Yeah, but you know. So, what did you want to talk about?
I don't mind. What's on your list?
Oh, well, actually, there was one thing I was going to talk about last week that I didn't.
Okay.
And I don't think I need the list to remind me what it is. I was watching. Actually, you're not yawning.
No.
Are you okay? How come you're not yawning?
I'm bored me.
No. It's not because I bore you. You yawn because you're.
Tired.
Okay, maybe you are bored. So the thing I was watching was. Oh yeah, so from time to time YouTube prompts me with these videos of, you know, those dash cam videos of people crashing and stuff like that and everything like that. Now I don't mind them too much, but when I watch the videos of people getting really aggressive, it makes me very anxious to watch them. And
what's that bringing up in you?
Well, it's the fear of, I think, knowing how people react. Like when you're in your car, and I'm guilty of this as well, but not as much. I'm very conscious of it now, and I tend not to be. But when I watch the way people react about minor things, so okay, someone does something really dangerous, and you're kind of fucking yeah, fucking. I understand that. I'm saying fucking. So I can understand that when someone does something stupid, and you see in these videos someone of really, really, really incredibly stupid and dangerous stuff people do, right? And you're kind of going, yeah, okay, fair enough. And I think in that instance, you probably would give out about them, but I think your initial reaction is to kind of scream in fear of some of the stuff that people do, some crazy, crazy stuff. But then I see people making little mistakes that I might have made or you might have made, like simple things. But there's people out there who completely overreact. Now they're sitting in their car and it's being recorded and they upload it onto YouTube, but they're like going, so you might see someone doing something like, now I know that they're probably illegal maneuvers, right? But they're kind of maybe reversing somewhere and they don't see something or something similar, or they're in the wrong lane on a roundabout or something like that as well. And
not the end of the world.
No, nothing happened. So the thing I often find with people, remember we were the roundabout near the house, remember that way? Remember the woman drove up to the roundabout and she slowed down. Now, okay, it's yield, right? Not stop.
A complete stop.
But some people do stop, and it is a bit of a pain in the neck. And I've kind of moaned myself when you kind of go. Not only do they pull up to the roundabout and stop,
and
they check,
nothing.
and they're like going, and you're kind of going. There's only one entrance onto this roundabout. Usually those roundabouts near the motorway or something like that, and you kind of go. There's only one entrance onto it. There's two, right? You're on one of them. There's clearly nothing coming, so go ahead, and you have to sit there. But if you're not paying attention, and I did see someone rear end somebody one day doing it because someone drove up to the yield and stopped dead. The other guy was obviously looking this way, so it was a dual lane onto the roundabout, and next thing, boom, they crashed into the back, and then he got out giving out to them, kind of going, "Why did you stop? Why did you stop?" Anyway, so the thing that makes me nervous when I see these things is, how people. So the person over there, he was driving too fast and too close to her, right? So even if she did stop, which wasn't great, but the fact is that he had to plow, he had to drop the anchor, plow on the brakes, and then he was blasting the horn and then roaring out the window at her. And you're kind of going, dude, you were going too fast. Not only that, you're in a zone between two schools. Slow down. And why were you driving so fast up to her? But the thing about it is the reaction. And whenever I watch these videos, I don't watch them. I try not to watch them because they do make me anxious when I watch them. And I just think it's crazy. Did you see the one with the bin lorry? Remember the guy? So remember that. So the bin lorry. I don't know the full story, but there was a bin lorry driving through some street in Dublin, some housing estate, and they were getting the bins. And this guy was trying to get behind him.
That was in lockdown, wasn't it?
He drove up onto the path around them, and then got out, stopped the car, got out, and then started abusing the driver. And then he got out, and then he got a hammer. And the poor guy that was standing in someone's driveway, just holding the wheelie bin, your man walked over and hit him in the head with a hammer. Remember?
Shock and carry on.
And then he hopped into his car and drove off.
He was found, actually. I never heard whether he was found or not.
I think they did find him.
Yeah,
I think they did. But it's just, I think the thing for me is that when I watch these videos of people doing this, it makes me nervous because I do a lot of driving. But I think the thing that makes me most nervous is how unforgiving people are on the road to people who make minor. Yeah. Like what is that about? What is it about people when they get into their car that they just sort of totally lose it, in that the equivalent would be if you're in a supermarket or queuing for a bank or something like that, if you were face to face. Now I know there are people out there who will do stuff like that, but the bulk of people manners would kind of, or social etiquette would override their will to scream and roar and shout at people. Not with everybody. You know, like what we're dealing with at the moment is when we go out for walks at night, you can see there's people who single file to make room because of COVID. But at the same time, you'll see there's people who walk up and don't. They hog the whole path. You make single file, and they make this assumption that what you're doing is you're moving over for them to walk through side by side, and you're kind of going, do you not want to? Anyway, so it's just, you know. Anyway, any comment is there?
Yeah, Roisin, Dodd.
Better than anything on TV. Good evening, Roisin. Better than anything on TV, and you know what? I fully agree, Roisin. The only thing is, it's not much of a compliment because
There's nothing on TV.
I'm thinking of getting rid of the telly. I never watch it. I watch the news now these days, and that's the thing. So just reminded me. Okay, finish that point. But isn't it? It just makes me. I
Left
get
the iron plugged in.
I get. It's just reminded me. I watched Russell Crowe Unchained. Have we seen that? I don't think we've seen that. Well, hey. Good woman,
no,
Roisin.
do you know what annoys me actually? You know when people are on a slip road and they stop at the top if they can't merge in rather than just continue up the hard shoulder.
Yeah.
That drives me mad.
Well, you see, the thing about it is, right, if you ask everyone, are you a good driver? Everyone says, yeah, right? The odd person might say no, right? But we all can't be good drivers. We all drive on a curve, right? So at one end of the curve is the terrible, dangerous drivers, and at the other end of the curve is fantastic drivers.
There's people that are teaching everyone how to drive.
The bulk of us operate kind of in the middle, and but I think we should be more forgiving. I just think, it's just this. I've been on the wrong end of it, and I've been also. I was never really, really super aggressive driver, but I just think I have had my moments, and I regret it. But it just makes me anxious when I see it.
I don't like driving.
So what do you think it is? Why do you think I get anxious, or what do you think that's about, Professor?
The aggression thing, why that bothers you? Because it's so real, and you know it could happen to you.
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually.
You know?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you're kind of looking at going, that could be me. That could be someone. I've done that. That could be somebody having a go at me.
That's exactly it, because the thing I see is people just for simple things. But at the same time, some of the super incredibly dangerous stuff that people do is it kind of like it have your heart in your mouth that you think of some of the stuff that people do, and they're usually in a rush, in some kind of hurry or something like that. You know, you see really, really crazy stuff. Reckless. Yeah. The only thing I'd say is that the criticism I'd have in Ireland is there's not enough traffic police around to catch them. You see them when you're driving up and down the motorway in the what do they call the speed traps, sitting there, you know. But you're kind of going, they should police the roads more.
They should be on the bikes going up and down like chips.
Absolutely. That's what they should be doing, policing the motorways more, because the guys in the middle, hogging the middle lane, right? And this is an old story. This is a chestnut for me that comes up time and time again. The lane hoggers in the middle of the motorway, they should be moved. First of all, they should be stopped, and they should be explained that they shouldn't be hogging the middle lane, and they should be moved over if you don't want to be driving. Because when you're being undertook and overtook,
it's an overtaken lane anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not to sit in.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me mad. Actually, when I was coming back from doing the shopping earlier on, there was a guy sitting, relatively young guy as well. Actually, I was surprised when I saw him, because you know the way you have to have a little look when you're going past to see what the person is. And I'd say he was doing. I came out of City West there onto the N7, and I'd say he was doing 60.
Yeah.
Now he was on the inside lane, all right, but when you're trying to get out and merge, and then when you're trying to get out to get past him, it's impossible to get past him because he's driving so slow. You're like,
oh yeah,
come on now.
Well, do you know something that really boils my blood when I'm walking down through the village is people speeding through the village. I do feel the reaction to stop them and pull them out of the car and thump them. I do feel it, because like people you can't really drive through our village quickly, but you know, it's not like,
there's parts of it you can get up speed, all right.
Well, but there's housing estates right on the main street.
There's houses on the main street. Banks
and so it's a thriving little village. It's a busy little village. There's loads of shops and pubs and pharmacies and stuff in it, right? So it's a great little village. And then you see from time to time these idiots just belting down through the village, and you're kind of going, like, you can't, at either end, there's a roundabout at either end. It's not like you can go.
I'm just looking at Laura there saying the lane discipline in Ireland is terrible. That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, we were in England, and the lane discipline is fantastic over there, wasn't it?
Better than here, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Remember, they just pull it in and they pull back in immediately. Like. Yeah.
And in France and Germany. We've said that before now on the content, but in Ireland, you see, we're not taught that. You know, as part of your driving test, we're not taught, as part of our driving test, maybe it's changed, but you're not taken onto the motorway. But I think, again, it's just one of those things, you know. There are some terrible drivers, but it's not policed. If it was policed more And if these people were pulled over and it was explained to them why, instead of someone coming up behind them flashing lights and beeping the horn at them and stuff like that, especially the person who does the speed limit in the overtaking lane, and they're like, I'm not budging, and you're kind of going, and then you have someone, but you have someone in tailgating them, and then someone tailgates them and tailgates them.
I told you about, no, I'm not mentioning the person's name,
Yeah.
about the day I was in a car with somebody going to a run, and they were sitting on the outside lane.
Oh yeah.
On the M50.
Yeah.
Doing, I think it might have been 70.
Yeah.
Which is 120.
Yeah.
It was 70 kilometers, but the speed limit is 120, and they were sitting in, and they had their wipers going mad. It wasn't raining, and they were drinking their coffee, driving 70.
Oblivious.
And I was like, there's people trying to get past us. They're undertaking us now at this stage.
Yeah.
Can you pull over? I'll drive myself in the future.
Yeah. And are you ever in a car? Yeah, I know. Well, I was in a car with somebody who drove slowly, stuck to the limit, right? Stuck to the limit, but then at around every corner they expected a speed van or a cop, and what they would do is they would kind of crawl around looking for these things. But then what they do is, I was in the car and on the motorway, they'd speed up to the limit, and then they kind of drop back and then speed up. But we were on like a 2-3 hour drive, and at the end I was fit to kill them. I was like, I will never be in this car with you again, ever. Anyway, so no, I haven't. Jake wrote to nowhere. I haven't. Where was Jake's comment there? Meant unhinged about road rage. I haven't seen that now. I'll have to look that up. But they do make me a bit anxious. I only lost it once when my twin boys were 6 months old and someone hit the side. Oh yeah, well that's completely understandable. And that's the point I'm saying. In those situations, yes, the natural reaction is to get upset, and that's completely understandable. We live in England. In September, we did a 2-week trip around Europe. As soon as we got back into England, my mood became red. But it's worse here.
Come to Ireland.
It's worse here, right? Try driving in Italy. It's everywhere.
We have done that. That's true.
Yeah.
It is each man for himself. In
well, yeah, okay. So France was great, and Germany was amazing, and then but the UK was definitely a lot better than it is here. Here would drive you mad. It would. I worked in a place and we had an English. The managing director was an English guy, and the thing he hated about living in Dublin was he was seconded over here for a couple of years. The things he hated about living in Ireland, driving anywhere, and he had a big Jag, right? Typical English guy. He had a big Jag, and what he said, the lane discipline drove him nuts, and the amount of traffic lights everywhere. Our road. So now we've all these. This is a good few years ago. Now we have. So that's nearly 20 years ago. Now we've all these beautiful motorways all over the place, but then you have people who don't know how to use them.
Yeah, you see, I think is it Poland, and I think we're trying to get like that now here. You used to have to do 20 hours in a car with an instructor before you could get your provisional license, or before you could apply for your test or something like that. Yeah, because I remember Aga telling us that. Aga. I remember she told us that, 'cause she actually went over to Poland to get her license. Yeah.
Well, it's just, you see, in Ireland, it's just not great, and the way people learn to drive and how the testing's done and all that kind of stuff, So, but I sit the blame with the lack of policing. See, that's what it is. Speed traps don't do anything. I know where all the speed traps are. I lay off the accelerator, and then when I'm driving, I have Google Maps on permanently in the car. And anywhere I'm driving, if I see a little red thing, it's either there's something. So if I'm somewhere I don't know and I see an unusual zone of orange and red, it's usually there's a speed trap there somewhere.
Professional moocher, I've got a Jag.
Well,
you're a stereotype.
Yeah, no, he came over and he had the thing about it. Oh, I nearly gave his name away. He had a really Irish name, so I had only joined the company, but he had a super duper Irish name he had, right? And I went in expecting to meet this Irish guy because his name was so Irish. His name was so. No, it was Sean DeLear. He was an Irish electrician. Anyway, so
that's a French electrician.
Sean DeLear. Yeah, Sean DeLear, Irish electrician. Whatever, right? So who invented the flip flops? Philippe the Flop. So
who invented the bra?
Who?
Stop and flop.
No, that's German for bra.
Oh, was it?
Stop and flopping. That's German.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so I went in and I was expecting to meet this super duper Irish guy, and next thing, out comes this, like what we would consider a classic stereotypical English accent, you know. All right, Jason, you know, that kind of real, you know, so
Cockney.
no, I probably sounded Cockney. I didn't mean to sound Cockney, but when people do an Irish accent, it's all, oh, Jesus, how was I born, and that English accent that we did, that's what he had, right? And next thing, he had the cufflinks on with the big Union Jacks and all sorts. Now, he's a super nice guy, but I remember kind of, when I heard his name, I was kind of going, I was like, are you part Irish or something? No, you know, he's like, and he loved being English. Not that there's anything wrong with that. He was super proud of his English roots and so on.
Well, if his name was very Irish, he probably was Irish somewhere.
Well, he must have had in the history.
He has to be.
But it was 2003, and that's when Ireland and the rugby started to play really well.
That's on tomorrow.
That was, yeah. So Ireland, I think Ireland decimated the English then for a few years then with the rugby, and they got no end of sport out of it in the office. And what they used to do is they used to get them Irish rugby jerseys, and then they got a big poster of the Irish team and framed it and put it up in his office. And it was all healthy banter and stuff like that. But actually, I think it was his birthday, and they got him a signed jersey, and he loved it. And he was like he was a really nice guy.
Like,
yeah.
That's actually a really nice present.
And he loved it. Yeah, and he was great. But it was that kind of healthy banter between the English and the Irish. Yeah.
It wasn't a horrible banter.
What I think of the English is that your normal average English person and your normal average Irish person get on fine. It's sort of the either ends of the extremes. You can run into issues and stuff like that as well. And that's what he was. He kind of got it, and we got it, and everyone was reasonable and fair.
And you're grown
and
up and adult about things as well.
It didn't matter that he was English. He could have been German or Italian or like that. It wasn't the issue. It's just that, but there's always that kind of healthy banter between Irish and English, that level of competition. But an amazing thing I heard. Well, England or the UK helped us out during the crash. Part of our bailout, they gave us billions or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but the British government helped us out. They gave us a dig out. And then Edwina Curry, right? So she was on Irish TV the other night talking to, I think it was Matt. What's his name? Matt Cooper. Could have been Matt Cooper. So remember, obviously everyone remembers Edwina Curry. It was the eggs. Remember, she said all eggs are contaminated with salmonella, which was correct. But anyway, she got into a lot of trouble. But she turned around and she said that with the COVID vaccine rollout, because the British have been so ahead of the curve in obtaining so many vaccines, she said that if there was excess, they'd probably give them to us. And she meant it as a kind of like, you know, do you know that kind of, oh, listen, we've bought too many. Here, you have this. And you could just see, she said it in such a genuine kind of like, you know, looking out for us, that I think, you know, that there's that aspect to the Hiberno British culture that's there. And when I saw it warmed me. I just thought it was lovely, you know. I just thought it was really, really nice. I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent. You know what I mean? Okay.
I do, yeah.
So, okay, let's see now. Let's see.
Between the eggs, Curry.
Yeah.
Rugby fans are the best. They
are, yeah. They are. Rugby is fantastic, yeah.
What have I missed?
It is great.
What haven't you missed, Eamon?
So, yeah, and I wonder what it's like, Eamon, when you come into these things mid-conversations. Like, what
especially because you just wouldn't know what we'd be talking about.
Well, that's because we don't have a script. But fortunately for us.
Imagine if we did.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd stick to
it. Probably not. Her husband smokes 100 fags a day, and he's still alive.
Probably what's keeping him alive.
Wow. Heard that said about vaccines by lots of Brits, that they're going to give them to us or what? But yeah, I thought it was very nice.
Well, it would be nice of them. At least we'd get some.
Yeah. But like, I think the thing is, when you consider the bailout, and we were given a few billion quid, obviously as a loan, but it was with you know, favourable terms, because obviously the whole relationship between us and the UK is mutual, in that the British government wouldn't like to see us going under.
No, and look, it was fragile.
Where would
for
you get
so
your butter?
Long. It's not in anyone's best interest that we fall out again.
Yeah, well, let's not go there now.
Yeah.
You always go there.
I'm just saying. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a good
I
thing.
know.
Because they're building on.
Yeah. But like,
Correcting wrongs.
let's just forget about all that stuff. Let's just forget all that happened and just forget about it. I'm trying to.
Well, let's stop going on
you know what
about
you're
it.
like. Do you know what you're like? Do you know what you're like? You're like someone who comes to sort of a wedding or something like that, and everyone knows that the groom was married before, right? Everyone knows, but no, and he's 20 kids, and he's a bit of a philanderer, right? Everyone knows it, but no one's talking about it because it's at their wedding, and you're that kind of going, yeah.
Where's his kids?
Yeah. Shamey was married before, or Shamey, it's not his first wedding. It'd be perfect otherwise. Like that. That's you, isn't it? And everyone's like going, oh, isn't it? No?
No.
I think it is you. I think it is. I'm out of here.
Yeah. You know you've a load left in this already.
What, that can?
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I just thought I'd get up and show everybody your beautiful body.
Your clothes you've been sitting in for a week.
I know, I changed the t-shirt today.
Ah, well done.
Changed the t-shirt today. Is anyone having a tipple?
He has to get up during the night for a cigarette. Wow.
The fact that he's still alive, smoking that many a day.
Wow.
It is an amazing thing that some people, that cigarettes just does not... I'm sure it's affecting them at some level. I'm sure. Can you hear that? Can they hear that? Can you hear that?
Eamon, do you get up and have cigarettes too during the night? How many cigarettes do you smoke? And you shouldn't. No judgment. They're very bad for you.
That's very judgy.
They're very
That's
bad
very
for you.
judgy, that is, though. Eamon probably knows that. And smokers who don't give up smoking don't like being reminded the fact that it's bad for them.
I'm a complete anti-smoker.
That's like when I have a beer and you're kind of going, you sure you should be having a beer? Like,
I'd say it's probably more. Are you sure you're only having one beer?
Yeah. Well, I'm on the cider because that hangover I got a couple of weeks ago was just unbelievable. It nearly killed me.
15 to 20. Is that 15?
15 to 20 fags.
20 cigarettes.
Mr. Ford's drinking a Malibu.
Roisin
Does that say a lot about you, Mr. Ford, drinking Malibu?
Maybe he's wishing he was on his holidays.
What kind of statement does that make about you?
Roisin says she has to get up during the night loads, but it's mainly because of a weak bladder.
Well, I do as well now.
Well, do you know what? I'm with you there. I've never even tried it either. I just don't like them.
I never liked cigarettes, but I did smoke cigars. I went through a phase of smoking cigars for a long time, and they are beautiful. They are lovely. But when they banned smoking in pubs, I stopped smoking cigars. Ice
in cider, is that an Irish thing? I would have thought that was something that everyone did.
No? It must be an Irish thing, but
it's a real summer thing.
So we drink, and it is fantastic, and the ice is well, it makes in the summer it is an amazing drink, but I just like it with ice in it, and it rehydrates me. I find that if I drink cider with ice in it, because I get hangovers like that, don't I? Like I get really, but the ice is a great way of getting water into me. Spoken like a true alcoholic.
Eamon says he was just drinking a Chardonnay.
They call me Malibu Man at the car shows.
Deadly. Do you know what I'm picturing?
Huh?
A white linen suit and
a big white hat.
Yeah.
Big fedora. Yeah. Yeah. And a cigar. And, and a little wispy moustache.
The man from Del Monte.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Ford. I'm sure he's probably the exact opposite, or maybe not. What's your favorite music? Ooh. What's your favorite music?
I'm very eclectic. We both are, actually, aren't we?
It's probably easier to tell you what I don't like. Well, like tonight, what we were listening to.
I don't like rave.
I go through. So if anyone is on Spotify, and if you want to know, I have a public playlist of it. I think it's public. It's called Best Listened to on Shuffle 2. Let me see if I can get that up there, right? Hide your face there, babe. Come on. I can still see you right now. Come on now. Come on, focus. Here we go. Best listened to on Shuffle 2, right? So if you go through that, there's about 700 songs in it. Well, actually, my favorite, Little Dragon. I love Little Dragon, right? I love those guys. Now, I have, like Vanessa said as well, I have very broad tastes. The only thing I don't like is death metal. But other than that, like country and western, pop, rock, electronic, dance, rave, hip hop, anything.
I don't like rave. I wouldn't be mad about electronic either. I don't like it actually. Not that I wouldn't be mad about it. I don't like it.
Well, I think each genre has its own excellence in that there's some music in every genre that you really, really like. Country and western, I wouldn't listen to all it, but say, or it's country music. I shouldn't say country and western. Dolly Parton and what's his name?
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, Kenny Rogers. So you know what I mean. But
Can't beat a bit of Dolly.
If I was on a spaceship to Mars and I had to bring one CD or not one CD, but one playlist, it would be Little Dragon. I love those guys. Who would
it not be me singing?
And a playlist of Vanessa singing as well. What would you? Who would you bring? What would keep you going? I could tell you what TV program she would bring. Gavin and Stacey.
What would I bring now? What would I bring? The Carpenters.
The Carpenters.
Yeah.
And that would do you then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A 3-year or a 6-year round trip or a 3-year round trip, whatever it is. Yeah.
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 How many songs they have?
Yeah.
You know, bit of ABBA if I had a few options.
Would you not get tired of ABBA? No. I could see the Carpenters, all right, but ABBA, 3 years, maybe.
There's songs I can sing to, you see.
Well, like tonight we were listening to. I'll tell you what we were listening to tonight now. So we had
come back and be karaoke.
We had Paolo Nutini. I really like that guy. I was listening to Cherry Blossom before we started. We were listening to who else? We were listening to what's his name? We were listening to Nat King Cole. We listened to Ray Charles. We were listening to Wyclef. Is that his name? XTC. Remember that? Making Plans for Nigel. Oh yeah, and they have a great song called "Complicated Game." So a real mad thing. I'm assuming that playlist is public anyway. Don't knock ABBA. Don't knock ABBA Barry. Oh, someone Barry obviously knocked it, did he? What's this? Pharmacist. It's country. Just country.
Did he correct you?
No, country and western sucks. It's just country apparently, and the reason I know that is because remember we watched that thing about the Scottish girl. What's it called?
That was a good movie. Actually.
It was a good movie. Yeah, it's quite sad. She was some girl, and she was Scottish, or as Stuart Lee would call them, Scotch. She was Scotch, and but she was a complete basket case. But her dream was to sing in the old Opry in what's it called, New Orleans or something like that. Was it? Whatever. And but very good. But then she was saying country and western, and she was like,
people were saying to her country and western.
She was like, "Are you fucking serious?" No, that's an Northern accent, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't do Scottish.
No, you can't really do anything.
No, I can't.
Your own,
I can't do. I can't do. Oh wait now. I can drink gin until the gin. I love gin. Without any effect on me, yeah. What's the gunpowder gin? Oh my god, that is beautiful. That is so nice. That gunpowder, isn't it? Gunpowder. It's in a blue. Gunpowder.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, gunpowder.
That's the bottle over there.
What did you think it was called?
Gunpowder.
Gunpowder. Gunpowder.
There's no label on it.
Where's the bottle?
There's no label on it.
Where's the bottle? It's gone.
Something in the window.
It's in a blue. It's in a blue bottle. It's the nicest gin I've ever had. It is just absolutely beautiful. Now,
you got that as a gift, didn't you?
Very pricey. Is it 50 or 60 euro a bottle or something like that? But it is worth it. It is so nice. It is so nice. I got a couple of them as gifts. Yeah. My daughter says all my music are gay anthems. Okay. Now that's an interesting comment, really, though, isn't it? Because my stepdaughter. Okay, my stepdaughter says. Because I was going to say daughter, but remember, because you know the way in the good old days, I said there a few years ago to somebody about, there was a guy I work with and we're quite close, and I said, yeah, he's my husband. But I said it in a slightly ironic way, in that like clearly he wasn't my husband because men can't get married. And I went, oh yeah, no, men can get married now. So it's not funny anymore. You say he's my husband, and people have to go, oh, is he? Oh, really? Okay. And you kind of go, oh, wait, no, that's not. For someone in my generation, you kind of go,
it's not unbelievable anymore.
Whereas you go, oh, he's my husband. People might take you seriously and kind of go, oh, is he your husband? And I always remember.
Well, that's why when people say my partner, you kind of go now.
Yeah.
That could mean an abundance.
Yeah, it is an amazing time. But do you remember that time in Vegas? Remember in Vegas? So we were down on Fremont Street, and they have that canopy over it now as well, and all the coloured stuff flying up and down it. And we were sitting in this little restauranty bar thing, remember? And it's an interesting thing that what we do is you tend to, if there's a couple sitting, right? You tend, maybe it's just me, but you look at one of them. And they had 2 kids, and I was looking at one of them, the man, the dad, right? And I was looking at him, and I was watching him with his 2 kids. Now, I knew there was another person sitting there beside him, but I had yet to shift my focus. But in my mind, because I was so surprised, right? Now, this is a long time ago. How long ago is this? We got married. When was that? 13 years ago, right? And when my focus eventually shifted, it was another guy, and they were a couple, right? So they were a couple, and these kids were clearly adopted, presumably, right? But I remember kind of looking at it and I was kind of going, all right, okay, it's just amazing the way our minds work that we don't.
They could have been surrogate.
They could have been. Again, but you could see by them, they were clearly a family, a unit, and that they were their kids. And I just thought it was amazing to see it, but that was a long time ago, I don't think you see that here. It was like the day I told you about remember I told you the 2 lesbians, remember that? Sounds like a joke. Did I tell you one about the 2 lesbians? What's that joke I tell about the lesbian? It's probably offensive. I probably can't tell that joke. But we were in. I was outside a shop one day, and next thing, this couple came walking around the corner, and again the same thing. I focused in. I focused in on the very good-looking woman. Remember I was telling this, right? So she was very pretty, and I could really, really well dressed and well groomed, and like a really good looking woman, right? Like yourself, obviously, right? And I remember kind of looking, and as a man, you as a heterosexual man, you couldn't help but notice, and you're kind of going, wow, she's very attractive, very well put together, blah blah blah. She doesn't have a patch on my Vanessa, obviously. And then eventually my mind shifted to look at the guy, because you clearly have to do the kind of going, who's that lucky guy? And it was another woman, and I was like, what?
What would God say?
Now again, this is a long time ago, and I was younger and stuff like that as well. But I was kind of going, whoa! But she was the stereotypical short hair, plaid shirt kind of thing going on. But they were hanging out of each other and very happy.
Isn't it great to think that things like that aren't going to be a surprise to the likes of Christian growing up?
Yeah,
it's just going to be the norm, and it's so good to think. All right,
nearly out of time.
Hi, David.
It's just interesting.
How you doing?
Never tire of Carpenters or the Bee Gees. Or the Bee Gees. Now that's who you'd bring. The Bee Gees. The Carpenters and the Bee Gees. I don't know about ABBA now.
I think I'd get fed up with the Bee Gees.
See, for ABBA, the what are they called? They ruined ABBA. Erasure. They ruined it for me. They ruined it. Yeah, because I can't think of ABBA songs now without thinking of. Not that I've any. I think Erasure. Stick to Erasure stuff.
I was going to say, because we're going to that concert this year.
I know.
Well,
when's that?
October.
Oh, okay. We'll be needing a babysitter around October. So, but I just think they ruined it for me. I just think they ruined ABBA. Anyway, so what are we saying?
Hi, Ginger.
Chris Young. I'm not familiar with him now. I'll have to have a look at Chris Young. Are you familiar with Chris Young? I have to look up Chris Young.
I like Kanye West too.
My Fleetwood Mac. Oh, Fleetwood Mac. Oh, yeah.
You see, you couldn't just bring one album.
Yeah. No, you'd have to. That's why I love Spotify, because it's all on it. Fleetwood Mac are amazing. You too. I am probably the only person in Ireland who's not mad about you too. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it? Clearly not. It's an empty bottle here. Okay. Gunpowder toothpaste. Hi guys, David Morrison. Hello, sir. Has David commented before?
Yeah. He's the guy that gave Christian the few quid for the sweets.
Very good. Yes, sorry.
David, he's only pretending that he doesn't know you.
Very good. I do that on purpose. It's to create demand. Hi guys. Hi Ginger.
And he says, well, hi Vanessa.
So, yeah.
Got a bit of competition, Jay. Pull up your socks.
Yeah. Well, you can have her now.
The damage is done.
So, the word. Okay, what's this? The word disputes or what's that? Disputes or may look ridiculous, but backwards it's even more stupid.
You don't get it, do you?
Even morons. What is it? Even.
It says even more stupid.
Oh. Sorry. I just couldn't. I'm not great at that. Not great at those kind of jokes. They're too intelligent for me. That's very good. That's very clever. Fleetwood Mac, yeah.
Oh, I don't like U2 either, Aaron. Couple of songs, literally 2 songs, but I actually can't stand Bono.
I like their I like that song Lemon. And see, so that's the thing. Remember
Lemon.
they brought out that's I like that album, but that's about the extent of it. But yeah, no, it's a real for an Irish
I
person.
like Where the Streets Have No Name.
For an Irish person, yeah.
Or With or Without You.
Yeah.
They're probably the only 2 songs I like.
I think for an Irish person to say that is it's sacrilege for me anyway. I know it is, but I'm not a big fan. But there's a guy I used to hang around with years ago. Remember when they were in Dublin or playing anywhere, he'd get like 3 tickets. He'd go over and over and over. Absolutely, completely loved them, and just
I don't get it.
Don't get it either. You know. So it's Jackie O's 40. Give her a happy birthday, Jackie O. Happy birthday, Jackie O. 40.
The big 4-0.
The big 4-0. Happy birthday to you.
It's pants
Say happy
turning.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Jackie. It's pants turning 40 in a pandemic, Jackie. I know I did last year.
John Mayer, Submarine Test. Beautiful song. I'll have to look that up. That he rings a bell, John Mayer. He rings a bell. Why is he ringing a bell? I'll have to look that up.
David Morrison deleted his message, and I know what it said because I read it.
Wow.
He says you do that on purpose because you know he fancies me.
Who fancies? I fancy
David
you.
Morrison. Because you pretended you didn't know. Or not you pretended, but you.
All right.
Yeah.
See, you two are on the same wavelength. You and we're just not on the same wavelength.
Kindred spirit.
We're just not on the same. I see him here. Why is his song ringing a bell? What's it called? John Mayer, Submarine. It rings a bell.
Oh, did he play? No, I don't know.
A Submarine Test. Is that what it is? Submarine Test. John Mayer's Submarine Test. Oh, no, it's a playlist. Right, I'll have to look it up. Keep talking, babe, because obviously I'm being very. Well,
he's just donated another $5. He says, Vanessa, put this towards your divorce lawyer." Now, David, I think you may have missed the last few weeks.
You're very kind.
And you've missed our news.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, you can still get divorced.
I know. But does he want me with baggage?
I don't know. In case you have missed him, David, it's a bit too late.
Sorry. We'll get this next one grown up right and come back to me then.
So thank you very much. And funny enough, because Christian came down a few weeks ago and says to me, "Remember that £5 I got?" And I was going, what £5? And he goes, "Remember he said someone gave me £5 on the chat?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "Where is it?" "I think you ate it last night in your dinner." No, he said to me, "Where is it?" And I said, "Yeah, it's on the thing."
Spent it on music.
Yeah. And as soon as YouTube pay me, I'll give it to you. So I'm gonna have to look that up. But thanks very much. I think that playlist is 700 songs. But I think they're fantastic. So can't stand Bono. He was an obnoxious kid as well. Oh, did you know?
Yeah, sleep beside my Ballymon.
Oh, right. Very talented though. I mean, you can't knock the talent, and huge following. And he's worth a fortune now. He made more money on his Facebook investment. He made like $500 million from that.
See that what David's saying there?
What's
he was
that?
Disconnected from us. And he didn't do it. It was strange. So it must have. That is.
Well,
YouTube do that.
They do,
They clean up.
Because what I noticed is that people have said that before. Because there's a few people we noticed were gone for a while, and then they come back to say they'd been booted out. And they would have been. Remember Gary? Gary all the time? We loved Gary, and then Gary came back to say he'd been somehow. So I think the algorithm maybe looks at you as if you're not on enough or gets rid of you or something like that as well. But it does prune. It does, So your channel can go back.
Facebook does it too.
It can go back to zero if you're not careful, because the way they tune. It might be Walk Race Submarine Test. Yeah, I see it there. John Mayer Submarine Test. I'm gonna listen to that later. I have missed this. From you, I did not do it. Strange. Yeah, but but akin big head. Yeah, but akin big head. I'm sure that is that a typo.
Kind of big.
Is it?
Yeah.
Spent ages looking. I follow your other small channel. Ah, and I haven't been posting to that. I haven't been posting that because I'm cured. Yeah, I think I've kind of worked things out. But this channel on some level kind of scratches that itch as well a little bit, or these podcasts.
Sold one of your cars to Howard Donald. Wow.
Who's Howard
Take
Donald?
that!
Oh, for God's sakes. So, okay, wait. How spent hey, you two, how's it going? VLP.
Who are they?
VLP used to, that's because I'd always call VLP. Long time kind of viewer. Good evening, VLP. V Les Paul. I'll come back and see you, Kelly. All right. See,
cool.
Very good. You got it, Kelly. Excellent. And it'll be interesting. Not to put the mockers on it now and then, but the thing about it is, think new shoes. Just think new shoes.
Breaking them in.
Remember, you get them, you're terrified, but then a year down the road, you don't give a monkeys about them. You just have to work through that sickening phase of anything happening to the van, like Christian opening a bottle of Pepsi, a half-litre bottle of Pepsi, right over where the gear stick is.
I think it's time you got over that, Jay.
Yeah.
It was 5 years ago.
I know, but it still gives me nightmares. The fact that he did it.
Well, you do realise there's a new baby coming in that's probably going to spew up milk and everything all over. So, on those lovely upholstered seats.
And you know what? We'll get them out of nappies, and then I'll be too old.
You'll be in nappies.
I'll be in bits. It's just can't catch a break. So one of my cars. Okay, we saw that. Congrats, congrats, Les Paul. I only have another 8 months to wait. It is an amazing period to be waiting for them. Like better than waiting for a child, isn't it? And you remove the videos. I always did because, so this is the other channel, right? So the reason I took them down because I never used to leave them up anyway, for one reason really, was because, and we're kind of going over here now, but the reason was because they were controversial. They were kind of controversial, and whatever about people stumbling across our channel here, those videos could maybe, people might kind of go, what were you talking about and what's going on and all that kind of stuff. So they were a bit more open, and I left them up for people who viewed them, and then I took them down because they were more of a kind of conversation back and forth, and I did take them down. But I haven't closed the channel, and the thing I'd say is that I could go back to doing that at some stage, but
you might have to.
Well, you see, I've worked through a lot of issues. I've worked through a lot of things, and I came to a kind of resolution,
You're just nuts.
So, look, the thing is, I might resurrect them, but it'll be me out and about again or something like that, So they are interesting little videos. I like them. Like, very small. I think only they got like 9 views or something like that as well. But it was a loyal, small group of people, and they always commented. So it was quite very therapeutic. Having a YouTube channel is quite therapeutic. Stick with it. No drinking or eating in my new Cali. Yeah, I know, but then what's the point in having it? Isn't that's what I had to get over, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was your big bugbear at the start.
Yeah. And that's why, and the thing is, the fabric that the seats are made of. Anyway, don't get me started. No drinking or eating, no lot. So I priced up the transporter, and that came in at 58,000 with any kitchen or bed. Wow.
It's expensive.
Wow. And those crowd in Scotland are very good. Gerba, they have some really, really brilliant. And actually, I saw one. There's some crowd. I think it's in Sweden. I know.
See, Aaron.
There's some crowd I saw. See you, Aaron, buddy. Take care. There's some van company, some mini something they're called or something like that, and they were doing VW conversions, and absolutely, remember I was showing you, wasn't it? Amazing setup inside. Absolutely, really, really clever. Because the thing is, when you watch these videos about these, like Gerba and all those guys, they just use the internal space better.
Yeah.
Just how the bed came down and all that kind of stuff was just so much better. And then the bed, you can lift up the seat in the back, and you have access into it.
There's a proper
and stuff
fridge
like that.
in it as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, yeah. It just seems like better. But I'm sure there's downsides. There's always downsides.
Yeah.
There's always some con to these things. Because again, it is a very small compromised space.
Mm.
But anyway, anyone's getting a California or a conversion,
Right,
best
will
of
we
luck. We better go. We've gone way over. We've gone way over.
keeping these poor people from their
Yeah.
lives?
We had fish and chips in ours last night. Was the best. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, see, there's nothing like that. V's steak sandwiches in the California are the best. They are the best. So, yeah, Gerber conversion. Yeah, stay safe, guys. Yeah, better go. Better go.
Yeah, we better go.
Better go. We're going way over. So, cheers, everybody, and we'll see you next week or whatever.
I thought you were cheersing me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, cheers.
No, you're all right.
No, go on. Go on. I didn't know what
Cheers,
you.
David.
Didn't know. You're a married woman, expecting. I mean, you've no shame, no shame. And that David fella,
It's the hormone.
he's no shame either, no shame whatsoever.
How'd you
Right.
make a hormone?
Don't bear, boom. And on that,
Stay safe, guys.
wait now, I'm gonna
Take care.
end stream, end